And then the final question, and I think this one is, again, right up there, that's heavy. Why are you helping people on YouTube, creating potentially more competition for yourself? And that's easy. And I think it relates back to this last question about polluting the environment and killing our animals. I want to teach people so we can be looked at as a more professional career. I feel like lawn care operators are looked down on. Whether you mow grass, whether you spray lawns, you're looked at as cheap labor. Who can be talked down to the absolute most bottom dollar possible, and that's not who we are. There's a very serious science behind what we do, a very serious science, and it's especially on the fertilization and spray side of the green industry. It's important that we embrace that science aspect of it and become scientists to understand why we do what we do. And by doing so, we're actually going to minimize our impact on the environment and minimize our impact on bees. It's cheap to go out and spray every yard with merit and neonicotinoid. But when's the best time to do that so you're not threatening bee populations? Well, of course, it's when things aren't in bloom. So that's my big thing, because the more people like me screw up out there, the worse it's going to look for our industry and the shorter our industry will get to exist. I don't want that to happen. I don't want our industry to go away. It's a very vital part of what is done out there. And especially when it comes to, climate change and global warming or whatever you want to dub it as, that's not the conversation I want to have. But what I do want to say is that what we are doing by planting plants, by maintaining healthy plants, by keeping plants at their healthiest, we are doing extremely positive things for the environment. Grass is going to be one of the biggest remediators of water that exists out there, one of the best filters of water. So if you have a grass meadow downstream of something nasty that's gonna be processing dirty water, and that grass meadow is there and is thriving as far as its health and its local micro ecosystem that's taking place there, and it gets to run through that grass for a mile before it enters the next water source. That water is going to be as clean as it could possibly be, as long as it's not undergoing heavy metals and mercury and whatnot. But you would be shocked at how much filtration actually takes place through the soil, through the grass, through the roots and shoots, through the transpiration process of the amount of oxygen. When you see that haze over a golf course in the morning, and what you're witnessing are the turfgrass plants breathing, where it pulls up that water through the roots, and then the stomata and the leaves, start to release it in the transpiration process, and you get that nice haze over it. And that's all that fresh moisture and oxygen that's coming out of that leaf blade that's being released back into our environment. And you can't negate that. That's why even on my rant about the parking lot structures and these out of town contractors that come in and do such crappy jobs. The ultimate goal with all these landscape designs that we put in should not be, what looks good in 2 years. It should be, what function is this going to serve at 10 years once these plants reach maturity? Because 4 or 5 trees at a mature state is going to produce a ton of oxygen, and it's going to consume a massive amount of carbon through the course of the year, carbon dioxide. And so it pays environmentally to maintain our plants at a highly performing, highly highly performing, dense, thick, vigorous, highly aesthetic state, year round. Otherwise, we're going to miss out on the potential environmental benefits that exist from having that well manicured landscape or lawn. So that's why I want to teach and help people on YouTube, is because I don't want my industry to go anywhere, and I want my industry to be recognized for what it is, a science, and I want all my fellow green industry members to be respected for what they do. And that's whether you mow grass. I think it's important just as much for guys who lay pavers to understand the science of how the water is going to roll off those pavers and make it to the grass. I think it's important for the guys to mow grass to understand, when it's incredibly hot outside, to not come in and scalp it to the ground. And I think it's important for lawn care operators like me, to if it says apply 64 ounces to the acre, we don't go out with 128 ounces to the acre. So that's why I want to teach it. I want my industry to exist for a really long time. I want it to provide an extreme environmental impact, positive environmental impact, and I want us to be respected for the scientists that we are. And I don't want the few mistakes of the few bad apples to shine the light on the rest of us negatively. So anyway, y'all, that's my Q&A. I've enjoyed this. It's a lot of fun for me. So, if you have any questions, don't forget down below, I've got my email address, thegrassfactor@gmail.com. In the meantime, I'm going to be following up with a video talking about dolomitic lime and what it has to offer. So thank y'all, and be sure to click like, subscribe, give me a thumbs up on my video if you enjoyed this, and again, do not hesitate to send me over a list of questions and I'll put them all in a video for you. Thanks y'all, have a good one. Take care.